Did you know that a jukebox at Millbrook Diner started playing songs by dead musicians that never existed? In March 2024, the vintage machine began selecting tracks from no known catalog. Staff recognized voices of deceased artists singing completely new material. Audio analysis confirmed the voice patterns matched the dead performers perfectly. But the real horror came when night shift waitress Janet Williams was closing alone at 3 in the morning. The jukebox suddenly activated by itself. Elvis Presley's voice filled the empty diner, singing about Janet's death scheduled for that very night. Wet, crackling sounds erupted from the speakers as ghostly interference built. She desperately tried unplugging the machine, but it kept playing her personalized death song. The volume increased beyond the machine's normal capacity. Janet covered her ears as blood began trickling from them. The diner closed permanently after security cameras captured everything. Reports of prophetic musical messages continued to this day. Do you know that in July 2024, an entire town was swallowed by their own televisions? It started in Millbrook when cable went out, but instead of black screens, residents saw hypnotic static patterns. Families gathered for their usual evening shows, but something was wrong. People sat motionless for hours, completely mesmerized by the swirling static. Emergency crews found residents halfway absorbed into their TV screen, only legs sticking out. But the worst case was Dave Martinez, an electronics store manager testing multiple units. Security cameras captured his final moments as his hands passed through the screen like liquid. Electrical crackling filled the air as the static pulled his entire body inside. His silhouette was still visible within the static, screaming from inside the television dimension. The store closed permanently, but reports continue of people trapped in screens across. Did you know that in June 2024, a maternity ward discovered something impossible during a routine ultrasound? Linda Chen was having a regular checkup at Millbrook Hospital when she first saw it, her exact duplicate standing in the corner but with hollow, bleeding eye sockets. At first, doctors dismissed it as pregnancy stress, but security cameras confirmed the truth. An eyeless version of Linda was stalking the hospital corridors. During labor, both versions appeared in the delivery room simultaneously. The duplicate reached for the newborn with wet, rasping breaths. Black tears poured from its empty sockets as it spoke in Linda's exact voice. "I'm the real mother," it whispered. Two identical women fought over the baby while one had bleeding holes where eyes should be. The ward remains quarantined as more patients report seeing their eyelids doubles. Reality itself seems to be tearing apart. Did you know electric toothbrushes once became deadly weapons that drilled through people's skulls? In May 2024, Millbrook Dental Supply issued an urgent recall after their toothbrushes began spinning at dangerous speeds. What started as routine dental care turned into a nightmare. Emergency rooms filled with patients suffering severe mouth injuries from their own toothbrushes. Engineers discovered the devices were somehow reaching industrial drill motor speeds. Then came the case of dental hygienist Patricia Moore. Security cameras captured her demonstrating proper brushing to a patient when her toothbrush suddenly vibrated violently. Her confused expression turned to horror as what grinding sounds filled the room. The brush burrowed through her jawbone like a power drill. Blood and bone fragments sprayed everywhere as the motor continued running inside her skull. The company went bankrupt, but similar malfunctions keep happening. Your toothbrush might be next. Did you know that a wedding reception turned an entire country club into a quarantine zone? March 2024, Millbrook Country Club hosted what seemed like a perfect celebration. During the toast, the decorative wishing well and began leaking thick black liquid. Guests laughed it off until those who touched it started changing. Their skin hardened into bark. Limbs stretched beyond human limits. Medical reports showed cellular transformation at the molecular level. The maid of honor, Jennifer Walsh, fell into the contaminated well during photos. The wedding video captured her screams as black ooze absorbed through her skin. Wet, cracking sounds filled the air as her bones extended impossibly. Her fingers stretched into branch-like appendages scraping against stone walls. Her dress tore as she transformed into a human tree hybrid. She remained conscious throughout the entire mutation. The club closed permanently, but the mutations continued spreading. Did you know that in April 2024, a gas station started pumping blood instead of fuel? Morrison's gas station in rural Ohio seemed normal until customers began collapsing after filling up. Security footage revealed the horrifying truth. Fuel nozzles were attaching to people's arms, not their gas tanks. Medical reports confirmed it. The pumps were draining blood through modified mechanisms. Station owner Greg Morrison discovered this during a late-night maintenance check. Every pump suddenly activated at once. The hoses moved like snakes toward him. Puncturing sounds filled the air as the nozzles pierced his arms and legs. He screamed as the machines drained him slowly. Digital displays measured his life in gallons. His skin turned pale as red liquid flowed through two transparent lines into underground tanks. The station closed permanently. The fuel supply investigation, they found no answers. Some say the pumps are still running underground. Did you know a Zen garden literally swallowed a monk whole during meditation? In May 2024, the Millbrook Zen Center was a peaceful retreat where monks meditated daily in their traditional rock garden. But something changed. During morning sessions, monks reported feeling like they were sinking into the sand. Groundskeepers found deep depressions where the sand had been perfectly level. Geological surveys revealed the sand extended impossibly deep beneath the foundation. Then Brother Thomas, the head monk, decided to meditate alone at dawn. Security cameras captured everything. He sat calmly in lotus position until panic crossed his face. The sand around him turned liquid, making wet seeking sounds as he sank chest deep. He maintained his meditation pose even as he disappeared completely. The sand immediately returned to perfect patterns, leaving only scattered prayer beads. The center was abandoned. Locals still report muffled chanting from beneath the garden. Did you know that storm drains in downtown Millbrook started hunting people like predators? In June 2024, the busy shopping district seemed perfectly normal during morning rush hour, until security cameras caught something impossible. Manhole covers were lifting themselves when lone pedestrians walked by, like metal traps waiting to spring. Engineers confirmed the grates had no mechanical systems or power sources. Then postal worker Maria Santos was making her afternoon delivery route. Multiple street cameras captured the horror as the sidewalk grate beneath her feet suddenly snapped open like steel jaws. The metallic grinding echoed as it clamped around her waist. She clawed desperately at concrete while invisible forces dragged her down. Her legs kicked frantically above ground before vanishing completely. The grate slammed shut with perfect precision. The city welded every drain cover that night. People still disappear in those streets. Did you know that a swimming pool once turned into a death trap that literally dissolved a person alive? In July 2024, the Millbrook Recreation Center was packed with families enjoying summer swimming lessons. Everything seemed normal until the lifeguards noticed something wrong. The chlorine smell was getting stronger during busy hours, making people's eyes burn. Water tests revealed chlorine levels reaching industrial strength, enough to dissolve human tissue. Then swim instructor Rachel Kim was teaching evening lessons when the chemical system malfunctioned. Security cameras captured her sudden screams as the water around her began bubbling and steaming. Her skin started dissolving as chlorine spiked to lethal levels. She desperately tried reaching the ladder while her flesh melted away in the superheated chemical solution. The pool water turned red as her body disintegrated. The chemical smell became so intense that security cameras fogged over completely. The recreation center closed permanently. Investigators found the automated chemical systems had been systematically poisoning swimmers. Did you know a radio DJ literally disappeared into his own studio wall while broadcasting live? In February 2025, Rick Chun was working the overnight shift at KWBR radio station. It started like any normal night, playing music and taking calls from insomniacs. But around 2 in the morning, something felt wrong with the sound booth. The back wall looked solid, but when Rick touched it, his hand sank through like water. He grabbed his recording equipment to investigate, capturing impossible measurements. The booth somehow extended infinitely backward into complete darkness. As he leaned closer, the wall made a wet sucking sound and began pulling him in. Rick clawed desperately at solid surfaces while invisible forces dragged him deeper. His voice became distorted as he broadcast his final transmission from an infinite distance. Then silence. The station was found abandoned, all radio equipment in town still malfunctioning. Rick Chun had vanished completely into the studio wall. Did you know an entire theater was shut down after actors started moving like puppets? In March 2025, Millbrook Community Theater was rehearsing their spring production. Everything seemed normal until actress Sarah Kim began jerking unnaturally during her scene. Her arms twisted at impossible angles, joints snapping loudly as they bent backward. Other cast members reported feeling invisible strings pulling their limbs during performances, but the security cameras revealed the horrifying truth. Sarah's shadow clearly showed massive hands manipulating her from above. She screamed silently as the invisible puppeteer controlled her jaw, forcing her to deliver lines. Her eyes filled with pure terror as her body moved against her will. The theater closed immediately, but residents throughout Millbrook still report moving like marionettes. Something is still pulling their strings.